Good morning, students. Our today's chemistry topic is law of conservation of mass. So you can see here, according to this law, whenever there are any physical and chemical changes, the total mass of the reactants will always equal to the total mass of the product. So mass of the reactant must equal to the total mass of the products. So and another definition of this particular law is matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. So it means matter will be remains same in the reactant side or in the product side. Here are some examples are there. First one is when there is a physical change. First example is when there is a physical change. So here you can say when ice changes into water. Let us suppose when ice is taken in a beaker and the weight of the beaker containing ice will be 50. Then after some time when we are heating ice or we are giving heat to this beaker, ice starts melt, and as the ice gets changes into water, after it's melting, we again weigh the beaker containing water. Then the mass of that particular beaker will also equal to 50 gram. If the weight of particular beaker with ice is 50, then after the reaction or after heating the ice the mass will be equal. So this is in the case of physical change. And second one is the case when there is a chemical reaction. You can see here Landols tubes is taken, in which first one tube is filled with NaCl solution and other is filled with silver nitrate solution. So as we intermix both the mixture, before intermixing we just have to weight this on the weighing machine, and let us suppose the weight of this particular beaker is 500 gram. So after mixing these both chemicals, a reaction takes place and new products are formed. Products are here NaCl and AgNO3 reacts with each other to form AgCl plus NaNO3, and when they both react with each other, new products are formed. And after the reaction we will again weigh it. So the weight will again equal to 500 gram. So this is again in accordance with the law of conservation of mass. Another example is there. HGO is having 100 gram. It decomposes into mercury and oxygen. Mass of mercury is 92.6 gram and of oxygen is 7.4 gram. So if you get the sum of mass of products, it will be equal to the mass of reactant. Here 92.6 plus 7.4 is equal to 100. So mass of the reactant is equal to mass of the product. Now as according to Einstein, mass of any reactant or anything get converted into energy by the formula E is equal to mc square. So here there is a modification in the law of mass. There are some examples in which mass of the reactant, if the mass of the reactant is 100 gram, then the mass of the product can be 95, decreases or increases. So you can see there is a modification. Lies law of conservation of mass and energy. It means the mass and energy are interconvertible. So total mass, you can say the sum of the mass and energy of the reactant must be equal to the sum of the mass and energy of the products. Or you can say total sum of mass and energy during any chemical or physical change remains constant. So this is the modification of law of conservation of mass. Here you can see the numerical 4.90 gram of KClO3 potassium chlorate when heated produce 1.92 gram of oxygen and 2.96 gram of KCl. So is this in accordance with the law of conservation of mass? So you can see Firstly, we will calculate the mass of the reactant, total mass of the reactant, that is equal to 2.96 and 1.92, and when we added both of them, so we will get 4.88. It means the mass of the product is equal to 4.88, and we know mass of the reactant is 4.90. Say, so there is a difference of only 0.02, so we can neglect it because it is very less amount. So this can be, or this may follow the law of conservation of mass. This can be 0.02, can be an instrumental error or a human error. So problem for practice are there, you have to do it on your notebook. Next is law of constant of composition, law of constant composition or definite proportions. In this law, you can say if there is any compound, it is made up of same atoms and in a fixed ratio always by mass. So let us take an example. If there is a water, whether the water is of seas, whether it is of taken from rivers, whether it is from taken from RO, from any source, it always contain hydrogen and oxygen, and always in the ratio of 1:8 by mass. So it is fixed. So this is the law of constant composition. You can see another example. Here CO2 is formed. Either CO2 is formed by this method or another method or another. CO2 is formed by any of the method. First method is decomposition of calcium carbonate, then carbon plus oxygen, direct oxidation of carbon, then again reaction of calcium carbonate with HCl, then again decomposition of NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate. So these are all the methods of preparation of CO2. So whatever be the method of preparation, the CO2 formed always contain carbon and oxygen, and always in the ratio of 3:8. So this is the law of constant composition. Now there are two limitations of this law. First limitation is this law is applicable only this law is applicable not on isotopes. Now what are isotopes? Isotopes are those substances which have same atomic number but different mass number. For example, hydrogen has 3 isotopes, H11, H21, H31. So hydrogen has same atomic number but different mass number. In this way, there is one more example, chlorine 35, chlorine 37. These are the two isotopes of chlorine. So isotopes have same atomic number but different mass number. So if let us suppose second formation of carbon dioxide is from the isotope C14. We are always taking here isotope C12 mostly, but in case let us suppose second preparation of CO2 is from the isotope C14, then now if carbon dioxide is formed by C14 isotope, then the ratio will not be 12:32, it will be 14:32. So the ratio is different now. So this is the limitation. Second limitation is that when elements may combine, there are some examples in which elements have same number of atoms and also the same ratio of elements by mass, but they are different compounds. So this is also a limitation. Here you can see this is alcohol, this is your ether. So these both are different compounds. They contains 2 carbons, 6 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. They have same number of atoms and ratio is also same. Ratio is 12:3:8. So both the compounds have same ratio by mass and same number of atoms. So according to this law, this must be same, but these are different. So this is your another limitation. Now you can see problem here. 6.488 gram of lead combined directly with 1.002 gram of oxygen. Lead and oxygen combine to form lead oxide. amount of reactants is given, so we will add the amount of reactant to find the amount of or mass of product. So when we add, we get 7.490 gram. We have PbO2 7.490 gram. So in this we just have to prove the law of constant composition. So there are two methods. First method of preparation of lead oxide by adding Pb plus O2, and another method is by heating lead nitrate. So in second method we decompose lead nitrate to lead oxide. So they are saying that in this method, percentage of oxygen present in lead oxide is 13.38. So we just have to prove the percentage of oxygen in the upper compound, that is PbO2, formed by this method. We have to prove percentage of oxygen is same in both the compounds, whether it is formed from lead nitrate or whether it is formed from by the direct oxidation of lead. So now what we are doing, as you know, 7.490, that is the total mass of the product, have or will have how much oxygen? 1.002 gram of oxygen. 7.490 gram of lead peroxide contains 1.002 gram of oxygen, and when we have to find percentage, then we will take it from 100, and 100 gram of lead peroxide PbO2 contains how much oxygen? 1.002 by 7.490 into 100. So by calculating this we will find the percentage, and the percentage will be your 13.38. So it means percentage of oxygen in PbO2 in first experiment is 13.38, and in second experiment it is also 13.38. So percentage composition of oxygen in lead oxide, whether it is formed by first experiment or it is formed by the another method, the ratio or the percentage of oxygen is same. So this is in accordance with the law of constant compositions. That's all for today. You have to solve all the problem for practice on your notebook. If you have any kind of doubt, you can message me. I will send you the solution. So thank you for today.